110 episodes, 103 unfinished projects. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 110 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through the projects that I'm working on, things that are on the bench, stuff that's going on around here. Sometimes it's how to, sometimes it's more of a how should. This episode's no different. You're looking at the Knight Customs liveried H10 optic from the H10 optic build-off that Josh and I are doing, praise wheel. And the reason this is here is because I'm actually printing something on the Bambu Lab's X1 Carbon that's going to go into this buggy. It's the Knight Customs interior for this buggy. It's the single-seater edition, my head. But what I'm doing is more important than what it is. So let's switch cameras here for a second. I'm going to walk you through what I'm talking about, and then we'll come back and be on here again. Okay, so we're walking over to the printer here. Here we are at the printer, X1 Carbon. X1 Carbon, hello. And in here is the Knight Customs interior. There's just finished printing. But what's more interesting is the build plate that it's being printed on. This is Bambu Lab's new cold plate. And the idea behind this is extra adhesion at lower overall temperatures of the build plate. So technically it's, I guess you could say there's a bit of an energy savings there. I don't know how much there really is, but it's more about the temperature at which this prints at, meaning that it's much cooler overall, but it offers way better adhesion than anything before. And it's pretty crazy. Like, by that point, if this were on the textured PEI plate, it would have already fallen off. Because that's how that plate works. But let's go back to our good cameras now. So here's this new build plate from Bambu Labs. This is for PLA and PETG, and it is the Bambu Super Tack Cool Plate. And like I said, it offers excellent adhesion. There's not much difference in terms of the print quality. Obviously, that's up to you and your parameters and how you've set it up. But this thing sticks so much harder than any other plate I've used. It's crazy, the level of adhesion. Wow, that is incredible. And actually, look at that. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but there's actually a little bit of residue. Maybe you can see it there. Yeah, you can see how the color of the carbon fiber PLA has actually adhered to the actual build plate. It is such an incredible build plate, and I'm really happy to be using this. This is pretty fantastic. I like the PEI. That works really well for adhesion as well, but nowhere near as good as this. Some of the other tests I've seen online are showing huge, crazy towers off at an angle without supports and just a little tiny section of adhesion on the actual build plate, and it's just printing. It just works, stays on there, sticks perfectly. It's incredible stuff. So this is really great. I can see myself using this a lot more frequently than the PEI textured plate, also because it is quite smooth on the bottom. You can see there's hardly any layer lines whatsoever. Very, very smooth, very, very good quality prints. And if the adhesion is, I would say, like 5-10 times better than it is on the other plates, why wouldn't you use it? It's really, really great. And what I also really like is that it's not leaving behind a ton of extra filament. There's a little tiny bit right there, but for the most part, everything is pulling up, which is really, really great. There's our first little bit that's staying behind, but for the most part, it's lifting off really cleanly, which is really good to see. So yeah, if you're interested in picking one of these up, if you've got a P1P, P1S, or X1C, this is going to be an excellent build plate for you. It's really super fantastic. I can't say enough good things about it. That's way easier to clean up than the original plate, that's for sure. And you don't have to like scrape at things either, which is really great. You may also notice there's a little tiny notch there. That's where the print head is cleaning itself on the build plate. That's normal, so don't worry about that. Obviously it's dual-sided, so you can use either side. If anything were to happen to one side, you can print on the other. So there you go, excellent build plate. Definitely something I would highly recommend. I think it's gonna be a real game changer for a lot of people. Just the fact that it's a lower temperature plate and has such excellent, strong adhesion, it's like glue. I think that's pretty amazing. Definitely something to consider. I will put a link down to the Bambu Labs page right there for you. And that is an affiliate link, so it does help out the channel if you manage to buy something through them. So thank you in advance. All right, on to the next thing. And while we're talking about 3D printing, here's some cereal boxes. These are resealable cereal boxes that I got on Amazon in a 6-pack, and they are perfect for holding 3D filament in the regular kilogram spools. This is a really excellent way to store your filament because it doesn't allow a lot of moisture to get into the container and ruin the filament. There are a lot of filaments that I use that are pretty sensitive to moisture and humidity, and I live in a pretty moist and humid place. So the more I can do to reduce that amount of humidity, the better. You should also throw a desiccant tablet or you know, those little things that you're not supposed to eat. Don't eat them, use them in here. It'll also help dry out your filaments. So that's a nice little way to store your stuff. I'll put a link down below. It's to the Amazon Canada store, but I'm sure that they have these in America as well, or maybe around the world. I don't know. Probably. Does everyone eat cereal? Does everyone eat a metric amount of cereal? All right. That's probably it for printing stuff. I do have a lot of organizing to do, and that's something I'm gonna probably show in a future episode, maybe even for my members only, which is an excellent segue. If you want to be a channel member, you get access to all sorts of how-tos, tips and tricks, behind the scenes footage, and a lot of videos early, including what's on the bench. So you get to see this before everybody else. If you're interested in that, link down below. Okay, on to the next thing, which hopefully will be a truck this time. Okay, I was joking. I'm not quite done with the H10 optic that's going to be on the H10 optic build-off, praise wheel, because I forgot that I actually should probably install a real dig instead of just forgetting about it for another week. So what I'm going to do is order the dig unit from Vanquish, but it's not going to fit in its standard location because Josh printed this god-awful speaker box, which is huge and takes up all the space. But luckily, my friend Cliff McCraw invented this, this is just a prototype that I printed, but it is basically a low-profile servo relocation unit for that dig. And there's a strong likelihood that this will fit exactly where it needs to and clear the speaker box. And if it doesn't, I can just reduce the overall height here, and this will pull it up a little bit, and then it should work just fine. I am so stoked on this because I didn't want to have to chop up that speaker box, honestly. Okay, what else can we look at this week? This has been a slow week. There's not many things happening, which is bad. Oh, I know what we can do. Here's that FCX 10. This is the Land Cruiser 80, just came out, I guess, wow, Monday. And I'm pretty happy with this one. It's way better than the original FCX 10 in my opinion. It's much simpler, straight axles, just a 2-speed, none of the other ding-dong stuff. So, and a body that I really like too. That doesn't hurt. So what I wanted to do though is because they got rid of the portals. Why is that not releasing? There we go. Because, oh, I left the battery in it. Oh, I pulled a Josh. Yikes. I'm a bad human being. At least it wasn't plugged in. The one thing that was kind of weirding me out a bit about this model though was how it didn't have a ton of torque. And my guess was they went to a 32 turn brushed 550 can motor, and they also got rid of the portals, which took off half of the reduction. So I was wondering what they did to the transmission. I gotta put this back in a battery box. I was wondering what they did to the transmission in order to satisfy not melting motors. So let's open it up right now and see what's going on inside. I just LOL'd a little bit because, and you probably will too when you see this, but I see how they fixed it. This is hilarious. Zoom in on the tiniest pinion I've ever seen. What is this? 10-tooth pinion. Yeah, no wonder it's not as punchy. That is a really small pinion. Okay, good to know. Let's see if they changed the spur as well. 45. Okay, so 45 tooth spur and a 10-tooth pinion. So that's how they did it, folks. Yeah, 32 turn motor. I bet you the other ones were like a 21 turn. I can't remember exactly. I'll have to go back and watch my old review. I'm going to keep those numbers handy, and I'm going to go look back, and then I'll report right back right away. I didn't crack the transmission on the last one, so someone will have to tell me in the comments down below what the ratio was in the original truck. That's how you can leave a comment. I will definitely answer any of those. Thank you so much for all of your comments. And of course, if you're liking this series, you're liking these videos, and you like my ugly face, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. That sheds a lot of light on things. And it makes me nervous because if I up that pinion any, it's going to melt the motor for sure. Because there's just not enough reduction there, and then you won't have enough torque, and then the truck won't work good. Okay, changes my opinion a little tiny bit. Just a touch. But this is exactly what you have to do to the TRX4 when you do the portal delete. So I'm not, and I shouldn't be really surprised, because anybody that says this isn't derivative of a TRX4 is completely out to lunch. It's not a copy, obviously. It's different enough. But they looked at all the things that the TRX4 had and basically did those things as well. There's no denying it at all, ever. I'm looking at you, Tom Lee. All right, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Not a heavy-duty episode, but an eye-opening one nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, we'll see you again next week. We should really do a live one of these soon. I feel like this should have been the live. In fact, we are at 100K, so next one's live. Mark it in your calendars. Love you, bye.